Pull up a stool and pour yourself a pint as you're about to join three intrepid drinkers, Kevin, Justin, and Mark, as they embark on another Beertastic voyage.
Yes.
So
I was going to let it go, but that's fine.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
So I feel like we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the Skeleton Army. You alluded to it before, the voting for the Chinook competition. I was an honorary member that day. I got to vote. I appreciated that.
Oh, absolutely.
Jason came over and he was like, I feel like your opinion matters. I'm like, do you? Because you're the only
But
one.
it does. You're picking the winner.
So
First time
tell
for
us a little
everything.
bit about the Skeleton Army, and then I would like you to follow that up with us tasting whatever the super secret Skeleton Army tap is.
Well, it's Witchbinder, actually. It's
Is
this
it?
year's
Oh,
Witchbinder, the very last keg of Witchbinder.
nice.
Actually, yeah, Timmy, you pour that. I'll talk a little bit about that. So Skeleton Army was our little brainchild. We didn't know, if people would actually buy the memberships, and they did.
Well, you sold out last year, right?
We did. We fully sold out. We doubled the size of the Army this year.
Wow.
And recruitment's been going great. We still have some spots open. We recruit all the way through until April. And we will be giving away a few Skeleton Army memberships come Craft Beer Week in May.
I believe we may have secured
yes,
the first three
the first
entries.
3 entries are in. Beertastic Voyage, yes.
All right.
No, but it was immensely popular, and I'm so incredibly thankful to all the people that signed up to be part of the Skeleton Army this past year. I mean, that's your people, that's your culture, that's your super fans. People, they were there for us every week. As we were kind of navigating through this crazy journey. Like what worked, what didn't work. They gave us real constructive feedback.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you that the perks were extremely popular. It was really exciting when a skeleton would come in. It was their birthday month, and they got their free pint and their flights,
awesome.
and it was awesome. And then, and it's also a matter of pride too. I mean, like people come in happily with their special Skeleton Army mug, and they enjoy a 16-ounce pour at the 12-ounce price, and they're sitting there drinking their mug, and other people are there like, where do I get that glass? Can I get that glass? No, sorry, you have to.
We're
be a
sold
member.
out. You gotta
Sold
wait
out.
until
Can't get that.
know.
Right? Yeah, we actually, and so what? So obviously we brought it back this year, and we did also a mug. This time it's a 17-ounce glass mug that we do.
What?
Yeah, completely different style.
Got an upgrade,
Tim's
buddy.
gonna grab us one, I think. Yeah, here it comes.
Ooh.
Yes, yeah. So for
Ooh, I like
all
that it's a
you-
little rounded. That's
yeah, it's
nice.
a little rounded. Yeah, we just wanted to change it up. It's still the red. You can still see the, and it's good. And I mean, you still get, like, if you don't bring your mug in, you get like a 16-ounce pour, same thing. What's really cool now is last year we did bottles, like bomber sizes. You get 12 bombers a year with your
Right.
membership. And we found that bottling bombers was somewhat labor intensive.
Yeah, it really sucks.
Yeah, a little sucks a little bit. Especially when you're just busy all the time, brewing and running the business. So we had the foresight to purchase a canning machine. It's a small, it's the October brand of. It's like the Crowler machine, the Crowler technology.
Yeah, I
I
saw
was gonna say, I
that
saw the
in the
double
back of the
stack
bar
pallet
there.
of
Yeah.
cans in the back
Oh
there.
yeah, we got our first pallet. Exciting. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we wanted, instead of going the Crowler route, we decided to get this canner, so it actually has both a 12-ounce and a 16-ounce capability. So we stuck with the 16-ounce. It seems to be sort of the standard. And now we can can on demand. We can can anything that's on tap, with the exception of nitro and a couple of our special
Right.
one-offs we
Yeah.
don't typically do.
Like
in
the
cans.
Duke, basically.
Like the Duke,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, although, let me tell you, I have let the Skeleton Army is allowed to have Duke in cans. But
Oh.
only the Skeleton Army. No,
So
no one
so
else
is Tim,
does.
because he brought it to that.
Yes,
brought it to
well,
the can.
comrades can do what
Craft
they
Bears Brew
please,
Day.
I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta show it off. Yeah, no, but it's nice. So what we did was we sort of changed it a little bit this year. So instead of 12 bombers, you get 24 cans of beer with your membership for the year.
Okay.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
you still enjoy a birthday pint on your birthday, 10% off all merchandise, access to super secret Skeleton Army tap, which we'll go over in a second, and which is great. Actually, but probably like the favorite perk between the bigger pours is the Skeleton Army tap.
Specific tap, yeah.
Exactly. Well, it's your first look at new beers that we've created, special one-offs, and when we move brew houses and we find a keg of Witchbinder, it goes on the Skeleton Army tab. Because it's like it's a thank you every time you come in. Like, this is like, thank you for supporting us and prepaying for your membership. I mean, winter is hard in any industry, and in the beer industry, it's not the easiest. I mean, we've been really lucky, being sort of new and shiny for a couple of years, but you have to diversify and all that, and we're so incredibly thankful to our members. And the Army this year is so kick-ass as well. Like, so many people renewed, and we're like so happy to have like their second mug and all that, and it's great. It's good to be a skeleton.
I can definitely see that, like, the collecting the mugs thing. Like
Oh,
we,
yeah.
Oh,
we
what's
did
the
that
thing?
for a while with
I've been
the
doing
Polish
that with
festival.
the Riverhead Polish Festival.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
since my wife and I started dating, so like the past 8 years now.
You
Like,
have a whole cupboard feel.
Yeah,
Dude, that was awesome. That the day of your wedding.
oh yeah, the day I got married,
Yeah.
like the first day, Kevin stayed at my apartment that my wife and I were sharing at the time, and like Kevin and I started our day by going to the Polish festival in like a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Because I needed to
Pouring
get the
rain.
mugs.
That's funny. We get the mugs and we opened up like 3 of the different tents. We're just like,
Yeah.
let's go get a beer. Let's have another beer. You know what? We should get one
Like,
more before we
like,
head over
hey,
there.
I'm getting married today. They're like, oh man, here you go.
That's awesome. I've never actually had the pleasure of the Polish Town Festival.
Yeah, same. I
Always
always
wanted
wanted to go.
It's a fun day.
It's a good street fair. It's a lot of fun with
Yeah,
that.
we make a big deal out of it with all of our friends. We all go like as a big giant
Get
group.
an invite this time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
no doubt. I was actually just going to say you should come, but
The unfortunate thing this year is that I will be in Ohio for it because that's when my brother's getting married.
Man, what's with all these marriages in the Polish Festival?
I know, right?
actually, both you and your brother got married the weekend of the Polish festival.
I know, and they're also doing a nautical theme.
Right,
So
I was gonna say
like,
that.
my wife and I were like, "Here's all the shit that we still have. Like,
Did you
what
give
do
them
you
all the monkey
want?
fists that
Okay,
we tied?
it's yours."
Yes, all the monkey fists.
All the
Yeah.
monkey fists that we
Yes.
did. Oh my!
That's great. That's
So
awesome.
I vaguely remember having Witchbinder before.
Yes, let's talk
Yes,
about
this is the
get some
super
more
secret
Witchbinder
skeleton
going.
army
This is,
tap.
I don't know. Obviously, you said this was a keg you found. I remember it being a little bit different.
We brewed
It's
it this
aged, yeah.
fall. The one
Yeah.
that you guys had this last year, actually, I think we gave you guys a big pint of this before we even started our tastings,
Yeah,
which
yes.
is probably why we went 2 hours last time.
Yeah.
Because you can really, the Witchbinder, she'll bind you.
Well, I mean, we're already over an hour.
It is a powerful brew. It's,
Yeah, no, it's good. It differs every year a little bit. This year is a
Oh.
little bit more smoky, so if you like the
I was
smoky.
gonna say,
Yeah,
smoke
it's-
some
I like it.
smoke in there.
Yeah, it's
There's a lot of
essentially
smoke, big oak
essentially
smoke.
my nightmare, but a lot of people really like it.
You're not dropping any pints of this?
Oh God, no.
I also get a little bit of like licorice.
Yeah.
almost
Yeah,
in the
it's,
taste.
Which
I
again,
think it's the
second
sage
thing
and
that I
the,
hate
and the
most.
smoke sort of.
Oh,
Beer,
okay, yes.
yeah.
Sort of coming.
Those two things combined.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
This is an old homebrew
I'd
recipe.
say it's
of
not a
mine.
wonderfully crafted beer by my
That's why, like, it kind of reminds me of licorice, but I don't abhor it. So that explains
Right.
it. Exactly.
It's the age definitely brings the smoke out, and this one we smoke it all ourselves, so it's not like you're getting it from a malt house or you're getting it from a place that
Yeah,
does
yeah.
this in big batches. And
No, Justin
it's
and I have
uniform.
experience with that.
yeah,
so-
right. It's the same. I used to do a lot of smoking when I went to home. I would smoke it on my barbecue, my charcoal grill. It would just
Yeah.
taste like fucking hamburgers. It was good though, but this was cleanly smoked. Stretched it, and the oak smoke is pretty heavy. As it ages, it's funny to see that the smoke really comes out quite a bit, almost like a Rausch beer at this
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
where you get that like smoky. I don't want to say Band-Aid, but like that smoky flavor really comes forward. The sage is there, but it's starting to fade, and the malt is there, but it's the end of the winter. We had this crazy snowstorm. This is like the middle of winter or beginning of winter into the dark months kind of beer for me.
Yeah.
That's when I would always brew it, and I want to say goodbye to it. So I'm putting it on the tap to not to get rid of it to say, but like to get rid of winter.
I love this. Like I could drink so much of this. It's crazy. This is everything that I like about a smoked beer.
Yeah,
I mean, Justin and I made brewed like 13 gallons of a Lichtenhainer to serve at the Blue Point Cast
Yeah,
Festival.
yeah.
So this is right up
Nice.
what we like.
There you go. Yeah, it's a nice beer. It's one of those wacky gruits we brew. One of those weird herbal beers. Seasonal, obviously. But I'm always a fan. I have a powerful homebrew version of this I did. I call it Black Gate, and it was like something we brewed. I think it's like 3 years old now.
Wow.
And it's freaking out there. It is like I doubled the sage. I think I added more smoke. It was when Eric and Julie came by. It was a rough brew day, but I still got a bunch of bombers of that. But it's sage is a nice brewing ingredient, and the sage beer you guys brought was fucking awesome too.
I really like
I'm glad you enjoyed that. It's
it's nice.
definitely improved a lot since
good.
we bottled that.
Crack some of theirs open, Sarah.
That's the
I
Imperial
really
Stout,
like
yes.
the herbal qualities to it.
Yeah.
Like that's the part that I remember of
Yeah.
the Witchbinder from last year, and that was my favorite part of it. That it had, for lack of a better term, just to kind of put it out there, it's almost like beer meets Ricola.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that like
Yes,
that
yeah.
herbalness that you get to it.
Right.
The smoke's a little too much for me on this one.
Yeah.
That's why I passed it off to Justin. But that herbalness is still there.
It's still there, yeah.
And that's like when I think of, and all the time, like people always, they find out I'm interested in beer and they're like, oh, what's a good spot? I always try to send them over this way if they want something really crazy, because I think of that.
Yeah, you're
like
right,
that's
right.
the beer that I think of when I remember what you guys are making over here, and but it's that herbalness that just comes through. And now that it's popped in my head, like I can't get Ricola out of my head. Like it's kind of the same color. Like if we made that thing that liquid, like it's the same color. But
it is.
That's
funny.
I love that. I do like the little bit of licorice in there. I do like all the other flavors that come through. That sage that's still coming through.
Mm-hmm.
The smoke for me is just a little too much.
Smoke is definitely
on this
high
version.
on this one, yeah.
But
with age, it's funny. It's definitely right off the bat. It was like, whoa, this is smokier than before.
Yeah.
And with age, it definitely has come out a lot more. So we'll smoke it a little less next time. It's a little more for me too. But again, it's something like with.
But it's absolutely awesome. Like,
Yeah,
and it's not something you're going to find at any other tap.
No,
like,
no.
and we've been to all of them now.
Yeah, they don't make
they're,
beer like
they're
this.
literally we're not going to find it anywhere else. On the
Smokecraft opened yesterday. We haven't been there yet.
True.
Okay, fine. Yesterday. But other than that, we've been to all of them, and literally there's nothing like that anywhere else.
Yeah, no, that's what we go for. Is it's not our niche, but it's something we like to do. You got to be a little different, and making beer with herbs is it's nothing new, but it's novel nowadays, which is interesting.
Yeah,
It's,
definitely.
There's a very long-standing tradition of things, and some of it you really can't brew with anymore. It might be a little psychoactive, so you don't really want to put that into people's drinks. But there's a lot of lore, a lot of things
Only
that
on
are
the super secret tap.
That's right. That's the reserve.
Do you want to meet the real skeleton army?
Yeah, exactly.
Join the skeleton
They hang
army.
on the back if you drink enough beer. Drink enough Gruit.
Yeah,
But,
what I love is, what I've learned for myself by doing this podcast is that I like a lot of different beers. But what I really like, even if I don't like the beer, is tasting something that, is out of the ordinary. That's kind of, anytime I go somewhere, I'm like, what on this board sounds like something I've never had before? And that's what I tend to pick first.
Right.
So this particular beverage is right up my alley.
I'm glad. It's a nice beer. It's again, the smokiness is definitely a little stronger this time around, but it's going to change. It's like anything else. Even when we brew like Loot, I just brewed Loot, our Gruit ale with hibiscus, sage, and lemon balm. You get your hibiscus from a different place. You get your lemon balm. Like last year, I grew my own lemon balm, and it was fantastic. It was very fresh. Literally, I cut it and I brought it in a freaking bag and I threw it into the.
It was in a garbage bag. It came with me.
It did, and that tasted different. And you're going to get variations. It's not exactness, and I like that. I like that sort of.
Terroir.
Let's call it terroir, right? Like it is kind of like that. You definitely will get that. Like the hibiscus I used this time.
Today.
Nom de guerre, terroir, all these French terms today. But it changes, and it shouldn't. I almost believe that it shouldn't be like laboratory, exactness every time. You should have a little bit of give, especially when you work with they're all agricultural products. This is not stuff that you're cutting out of a block of plastic or something. Like it's going to change every time almost. Your ABV and your malts will be the same, but it's depending on the growing season and where you source your ingredients from, you're going to get some different stuff. And with something like Witchbinder this year, we smoked the hell out of it, and it was a little too not a little too smoky, but from I want to tone that down a little bit, and let the sage come through. It's the sage that smokes, for the record. That's what we smoke. We don't smoke it, but we smoke it in a smoker. And it's the sage that was that is smoked.
Like that, man. Come on. No, I really like what you're saying there, and that kind of idea of that craft, the idea of crafting beer and making it with what's available and have it be a little bit different each time is, I think, what makes craft beer so appealing.
Yeah,
and I really am happy to see that I really appreciate that approach to it, of saying, like, listen, this vintage of it is going to be a little different than what the other vintage was.
Right. It should be like that. It shouldn't be cookie cutter,
Right. And that if I wanted to have the exact same thing every time, there are plenty of companies out there that I can go buy their product and get the exact same beer every single time.
Exactly.
I'm okay with that.
Right.
But that's not always what I want from my craft breweries, and I'm really happy about that.
I'm glad. I agree. It's you need the variation. It makes it more
I'm
real.
very excited because I'm pretty sure Sarah is serving up the 3 variations.
Yeah,
of the
she
Bolero
is. I
Bites
see.
right
I see
now.
the colors.
Yeah. I was wondering what there's these little, looks
Squirt
like
bottles?
squirt bottles back there, like, and I'm wondering what on earth they were sitting back there. I'm like, what kind of mad science is going on back there?
You're going to find out.
So Do we want Sarah to tell us about that, or do you want to let us start knowing about?
I'll do it. I'll do it. All right. So this is
the Krieger Weiss.
It's Krieger Weiss. So this is it's a Berliner Weiss style.
Is there an order we need to drink this in?
Yeah, I would try it in the regular.
Let's go straight up first, and then
Okay.
mit Schluss, and then
Mit Schuss, not Schluss. Schuss. Well, now we're going to German territory now. German. We went from French to German.
I got nothing on the German. There's no game there.
So in Berlin, they classically made a beer called Berliner Weiss, which is a sour. It's like 3.5%. Ours is a little stronger. Very low ABV, effervescent, tart, easy drinking, pale
really good.
wheat sour.
Yeah,
ale.
it's really tart. That's
And
nice.
that is what this is. That's Berliner Weiss. That's Krieger Weiss. My mother's maiden name is Krieger, so it was a little nod to the family. So I made
Gotcha.
Krieger
Yeah, my
Weiss.
mother's maiden name is Geis.
Nice.
I never knew that.
I didn't
No?
know.
I've known your family since like 1996, and I had no idea about
I was
that.
just going to say, I didn't know that either, but you have way less of an excuse.
My grandmother's maiden name is Kutzelmann.
Kutzelmann.
That is
There you
German.
Wow.
That is
go.
German.
A little bit German.
Damn.
Little bit.
Just a little.
Holy shit. We're getting backed up to backed up to
You got
backed up.
four. You
here.
got four
Yeah, I
coming.
got a
Four
whole, I got a
variations.
whole flight here now. At this point.
I didn't realize.
Then this guy.
And then that's the last one.
All right, so
one's
go
the last.
from light to red. So
Yeah,
go
right,
from
right.
We're going from we're going from
really pale white almost all
to
the way
yellow to rosé
That's
to
right.
to purple.
That's right. That's right.
To
and
Barney.
this is whatever one of the Mark's homebrew bottles that Sarah
Yes,
opened
which
up.
is-
Yeah, can you
Awesome.
tell us how shitty that is?
No, it's not shitty at all. I'm
which one is
sipping
that
over here
one?
between
That's the
two.
Imperial Stout.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That definitely picked up a bread infection somewhere.
yeah, so I opened the bucket to it to bottle it, and it's just sick like probably
"Is
eighth-inch
this
layer bread pellicle
He's
right across
texting
the
me
top
pictures
of it.
like, is this
Dusty
pellicle?
pellicle.
I'm
That's
like,
funny.
I can't tell from that picture.
So
Sorry,
I-
closer one.
As the least brewer person of the five of us here, what's the pellicle? What is
A
that?
pellicle is like a white film.
It's like a
that
film that
forms.
forms on the surface
Yeah.
of the fermenting liquid that acts as like a barrier between the whatever is actually living in it and the
So it
outside
grew
environment.
skin.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like skin.
Yeah, there was a white.
exactly.
There was a
That's-
white
yeah,
grainy
that's really
pudding
gross.
skin.
it's like a skin
It
on
can be,
pudding.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
I
can
do
be
love
really
pudding.
gross.
And it's indicative of an infection.
pudding.
So in this case, based on Mark's experience at my Google Foo, we figured out that it's pretty much a pure Brett infection.
Well,
Is
I
it
mean,
a dusty
yeah.
pellicle?
Aside from that,
Yeah.
like also, it's definitely not lacto, probably not PDO because I don't remember what we bittered it to, but like
I have no idea.
At least 30 IBUs.
There's a little Brett.
We went over that. We went to
yeah.
50, I think.
No, this is nice though. It has a Brett character, but it's not unpleasant. I'll
No,
tell you
yeah,
that.
it's
actually
nice.
pretty tasty. I've been sipping it, and it's a little warm
So-
now. Holding it, it's nice.
Here's a question. So beyond the Russian Imperial Stout, do you taste anything else? Like we added anything else to it besides the Brett?
People ask me that sometimes, and like I am embarrassed. I have a hard time picking apart ingredients.
Yeah.
Let me say. Let me
There's
think
no
about
shot
it now.
you're gonna get
Give me-
this
give me-
one.
Let me think about
Yeah,
it. Let me think.
there's no shot you get it exactly, but
Let
at
me
least
let me
something.
just ask you this: like, do you get any fruitiness from it?
Yeah, there's like a not plum, but like something.
Because we added like
Date
a little over a
molasses.
pound of date molasses to the beer.
Yeah, there's definitely like a,
Yeah.
like a
And,
sweet. When I breathe out, you can taste it.
counteracts that a little bit, gives it more balance.
Justin forgot about that.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say that.
very concerned one day when he was tasting it. He was like, "I get a lot of stone fruit."
We
Yeah,
did,
no,
we,
you
we,
are.
we
You're
did
getting
this
like
at
a-
my house on my system, which is not. I mean, normally when we brew together, we're at Mark's house. So we did this on my system, and then we put it in my fermentation chamber, and then I'm tasting it. I'm like, how did I fuck this up? Holy shit! There's so much fruit. And he's like, we put date molasses there. I'm like, it
thank
was like a
fucking
huge
God.
relief. You have no idea. But I'm glad you guys like it.
No, it's very good.
I'm a fan of it. We'll see if this does anything at the LIBME Pro-Am competition.
Nice.
So I'm working through the flight of Berliner Weiss.
all right.
And the second one,
The Woodruff.
Yes.
the one with the
green
one.
tint.
Green beer will ever brew.
Okay, that's a magical flavor. You
Oh,
have
it
to
is.
explain to me what that one is.
All right. So the rundown of the four, and we'll go.
No,
through
I'm going to go through the other two. Just tell me that.
All right, the second one
I
is-
just
yeah,
have
there
to
you go.
interject, like when I saw that you had it and you had both the Woodruff and the raspberry, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
All right.
Went all the way.
I can't read the ingredients on the bottle because it's all in German.
It's in German, yeah.
'Cause
you can see though on the. Let me show you.
Traditionally in Germany,
There's a cherry,
like,
a
you
lime,
can't get
looks like a
Berliner Weiss
Cheeto.
straight
Oh,
up.
oh, that's
they
orange
will
peel,
only
never mind.
serve it to you with the Woodruff or the raspberry syrup in it.
Yeah, well, we were also, I mean, like Tim, this is one of Tim's favorite personal styles,
kommen
you know,
das, was
drinkable,
syrup,
crushable,
der riecht den
nice and
Schuss.
tart. But then we also wanted to
Clearly.
make it legit, like how one
Yeah.
would do it in Germany. So, and then it actually happened to align perfectly with St. Patrick's Day, so it
Right.
became our green beer.
It was a bunch of different, yeah. Also because we wanted variety on tap without having, because we're again, like I was saying before, we've been down out of production for a couple months, and the tap board needed to be filled. So we split the batch. The short of it is we split the batch 2 ways. We did a plain Berliner, and then we did a blueberry Berliner, half and half. Dude. The plain Berliner, we then cut up 3 ways, plain, Woodruff, or raspberry, and then the blueberry Berliner, that's Blitzkrieger, which is my uncle's nickname. My mother's brother.
Your uncle's name is
I feel like
Blitzkrieg.
I
His
feel like
nickname is
we would all be
Blitzkrieger.
best
Yes,
friends.
that is my uncle who passed away. That's his nickname. Yes,
I'm only
He's
a
also
quarter
Scottish.
Irish.
They called him Blitz, but his last name is Krieger. So the joke is he's Blitzkrieger.
Gotcha.
Not the kind of guy you associate with Blitzkrieger.
His last name is Krieger, like the character from Archer.
Yes, yeah, Krieger. That's my mom's maiden name is Krieger.
Nice.
That's soldier or a common soldier in German,
Yeah.
from what I understand. But so the first one is plain, straight up Berliner, nice tart,
Yeah,
lactic
it's
sour.
really good.
I'm a very big fan of that. We're almost out of it. I got to make more of that. And then what they do in the cafes in Berlin, classically, is they offer it with a shot of syrup if you want, and that's either Woodruff syrup or raspberry syrup.
So this blue one is the Woodruff syrup.
That is Woodruff. Yeah.
What is
That
what
is
is
green.
Woodruff?
That's definitely not blue.
That's a green bottle.
I
of
said
Woodruff.
green.
You said blue.
You said
All right, I had a little mental. I had a little stroke there.
That
Leave
is
me
the
alone.
Woodruff. That is the
Leave me alone.
Woodruff.
How many have we
Yours
gone
do
through
have
already? All right, listen.
I'm not-
Bacon comes from cows now. Green is blue. We don't know what's going on anymore.
I wasn't trying to bust your balls. I was trying to paint the picture for the people not watching us on YouTube.
Yeah, that is Woodruff, and that's Woodruff is like a flavor that I don't even. It's an herb, first of all. That is not an herb syrup. That is a syrup. So it's, you know, I think classically it was probably somehow a reduction or something made with actual Woodruff herb, but nowadays it comes in these funny bottles from Germany, and it's very much a syrup, but it has a really unique flavor to it. And I made a couple of these homebrew years ago. I did a no boil sour mash, and it was scary. The first one came out phenomenal. The second one was absolutely foul. No boil Berliner, and I got the Woodruff syrup I think off Amazon back then. And it looked like Ecto Cooler. It was so neat and it tasted so good.
It
I
is
only had
that
5
color
gallons.
of Ecto Cooler. The syrup
It
is
is.
the color of Ecto Cooler.
And you put a little more in there, it turns a little more green.
Yeah, I wanted to do it how they traditionally do it. They don't over syrup.
Mark.
Oh, laptop and gear.
Right on the surge protector.
You want to pause?
So-
Why don't you pause, Justin?
I can't pause yet.
Don't pause, it's just clean it.
So I have left the green one. I have to say
I'll pour you some more.
no, it's okay. My favorite. I'm not worried about you pouring me more. My favorite one is the. I think Kevin would agree with me. Is the more rosé colored one? Which one was that?
The raspberry.
The raspberry one. That one was fantastic. The adding the syrup to it, like I think a lot of people might think that the syrup would be, syrupy, like almost like a cola type
Right,
beverage,
no,
and
no.
it's not. It still retains the very light, tart flavor that a Berliner Weiss has, and even the base is just a really, really good Berliner Weiss. It's so dry and tart. It's hard to get a Berliner Weiss like that.
Yeah,
Justin's
it
doing
worked
a
out. And all of
fantastic
our,
job
yeah.
of vamping, considering that shit has fallen all over his stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, my whole life is in this laptop, by the way. Like all the things that matter to me in the whole world are here.
And it's now sitting
fine,
in a
though.
pool of raspberry.
It's all good. Everything's good.
fine.
I'm happy.
It's no problem.
Justin, how's my sound right now?
Your sound is actually really good.
Yeah? All right.
It's actually better than it was before.
Wow, that's
All right,
terrible.
Well, and it's funny, like a lot of our like craft beer enthusiasts and purists, they prefer the Krieger Weiss straight up, and then they don't want the addition of the syrup, but it's been sort of this wonderful. I don't know, like it's turned a lot of people onto the Berliner Weiss style, because they're like, what is this with syrup? Like, please give me more of this. I have people that are coming in just for it. We're almost out of it. I think this is the second to last keg of it.
One
Yeah.
more sixth of the plane left.
I've just been so happy that I'm amazed that it's like each time I have a sip of it, I'm like, oh, this one's really good. The next one can't be as good. No, it's
they're
better.
so good.
It's
They're
better.
so good.
It's
They're all
and
good.
even though
I apologize if you discussed this at all, but like, how did you do the blueberry?
We can get
Is
there,
this
yeah.
actually
no,
blueberry?
Yeah,
it's
that's
blueberry.
an
I was just
average
saying how
blueberry
each
puree.
one I've been loving more and more. I try
Yeah.
one sip and I'm like, oh, this is good. Next one, ooh, this is better. The raspberry one has like been the perfect spot
Yeah,
for me.
I know.
Right?
It's funny. It's funny to see like who likes what, because I like the Woodruff. I think it's if as far as compared to the base, the flavor one I like most is the green Woodruff.
Right.
Like Stretch loves the raspberry. He's like,
I love the raspberry.
Crazy. Sarah's crazy for it. And
What's your
then
vote
the
for,
third
Justin?
one is the blueberry puree. We got this blueberry puree from Oregon Fruit Company.
Oh yeah,
And that's it's aseptic puree, straight up real blueberries, added in the mixing tank and just made half the batch with that, and it's nice. It's
The color is beautiful too. It's
Yes.
pop.
It really
yeah,
is.
it's really like a deep sort of like a purple. I don't know.
I love having the 4 of these as like a flight in just that
Yeah.
to really be able to experience to go back, be able to. I've been going back to the plane, for lack of a better word,
Right.
Berliner Weiss, and to be able to really find that little addition to it is a nice way to experience these. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm glad. And it's I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know how far back the practice goes, but it is traditional how they do it in Berlin. In the cafes, from what I understand, you can look up the pictures. They have these. They drink it with a freaking straw. It's like crazy. The colors are a little more pronounced, but it is how they do it. I think Napoleon's troops called Berliner Weiss the Champagne of the North when they were there, whenever the hell that was.
You know, I
guess.
can see how how especially without the
pale.
syrups in there,
Yeah.
it has that champagne like kind of
does, it does.
effervescence to it. I could really see it picking
It
that
does.
up, and
And it's nice. And
it might be
for-
kind of cool to savor a big bottle of it.
Yeah, right.
Kevin wants to-
Magnum.
Kevin wants to
That's one of my
savor
life
all.
goals. That's one of
Kevin
my
wants
life
to savor
goals.
everything.
I'm really looking forward to drinking the Lichtenhainer that we brewed, because
Right.
Lichtenhainer is essentially a smoked Berliner Weiss.
Wow.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
and it all comes back around.
Exactly. So
Yeah, we use the rest of the white oak
the
smoke malt.
the white oak smoked dry malt, and then on top of that we used a fair amount of the Breeze cherry smoked malt.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna build a smoking chamber
An
for
oast.
malt. Yeah,
Nice.
is that what it's called?
Yes.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
A smoking chamber.
So
That can be used for a lot of things, I suppose.
Yeah,
But-
it'll be used for both peppers and malt.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, it's
Both of
I
which
don't know.
will end up in beer.
Every time every time I try a sip of one, I'm like, oh, that one's the best. I keep coming back. we keep moving around. I'm like, no, that one's better. It's crazy.
That's another yogurt sour right there too.
Yeah?
That's another yogurt sour.
All right.
beer. I figure I can go to the lab and get, White Labs, for example, you can get, I actually don't even know how much it costs. I'm sure it costs more than the $8 yogurt I'm buying from the supermarket, though.
Well, that and
willing to put money
also
on that,
the
yeah.
White Labs lactose strain is apparently generally fairly well known to be contaminated with yeast.
Yes. Yeah, there's a big thing going on about
Yeah.
that, I hear, yeah.
Yeah.
That some of their stuff
Is that
is
the one you
being,
mentioned last week,
contested.
Mark?
That
Or
was
a couple weeks ago.
that was something else. That was the diastaticus
Okay.
variant of Saccharomyces cerevisiae.
Yeah, their sac was contaminated too. I
Yeah,
understand,
the whole left-hand lawsuit. I was talking
Exactly.
about.
Yeah, they had it like independently tested and all that. And
Yep.
yeah, they're in their right to do that, and they're right about it. So,
Right.
hey, it's I guess it's constructive.
Oh man.
It's all in the name of good beer. So
Yeah,
it's all
definitely.
about it.
It is.
Up until this point, I've never known what Woodruff tastes like, but
Yeah.
I kind of like it, honestly.
I do too.
It's
So-
good.
So
Woodruff. I'm
Yeah.
But I just want to stay on the topic of Woodruff for a second.
Me too.
Is that the name of the herb? It's Woodruff. Like
Woodruff is the herb, yeah. The
Okay.
syrup is Waldmeister syrup or Waldmeister syrup.
Okay.
But yeah, Woodruff is the herb. I don't know what real Woodruff tastes like.
Yeah.
I haven't had the pleasure yet, but that is the
never heard of it before in
yeah.
any way, shape, or form.
I can't believe Mark doesn't grow that in his yard.
Well, I mean,
gonna
one, I don't think I've ever seen that to buy.
Yeah,
and
right.
Two, I've known that it's a thing specifically related to Berliner Weiss.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Like,
He's gonna plant it in between his hop plants next year.
I haven't actually bought any new rhizomes this year yet, so far. At
like
least.
mine died.
Yeah,
I
like,
had to give it up.
that's-
Mark's like super
I
down.
had one come back last year, and then it ended up dying on me. So like,
Uh-huh.
I haven't bought new ones this year yet.
Yeah, I tilled mine out. It was too much. It was great. I had a bunch of great. I think I actually have some of those hops in the freezer still. We could probably get rid of those.
I've been
Probably should.
like
No.
I'd like the freezer space back.
I'm probably gonna end up getting like some sterling rhizomes.
Nice.
And see how those do.
Nice.
And go
I think
from
my
there.
neighbor's yard has. I think that mine creeped into his yard, so he's gonna have hops like forever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, just be like, listen, neighbor, I'm going to come by for a minute and just
Yeah,
clean up
right.
that plant a little bit.
Right.
And
Right,
you can
right.
keep it. It's nice, enjoy the flowers,
Don't let your dog eat it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly.
His dog's an asshole,
That's
for the
exactly
record.
my problem.
Dog's an asshole.
That dog in particular.
No, but fresh hops was what got me hooked on like the brewing in particular. A friend that I've told Mark about this.
Sweeney's Sweeney's Garden.
Yeah, my friend Mike Sweeney. He's first time I homebrewed was with him, and we did kind of a Boston, a Sam Adams Boston Lager clone almost, but we used the fresh hops that were in his backyard, and I was just
Awesome.
like, this is magical stuff.
Exactly,
Like,
it is.
This
It
is
is.
this is what beer should taste like. I like
It is.
and that kind of got me hooked on drinking craft beer.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
homebrew beer.
It's the ingredient matter. I mean, when we were homebrewing, we would the weird thing we would do is get whole leaf hops. Everyone I would ever meet would get the packaged pelletized
pellets,
stuff.
yeah.
And then I went to it was freshhops.com, I think, and they're from
yeah,
the
I've
West
been
Coast.
waiting for them to list their rhizomes.
Oh yeah, that's where I
honestly.
get mine from too.
Yeah,
actually,
exactly.
yeah. So the ones I had and have, I think, in my yard or in my neighbor's yard are from freshhops.com.
Yeah, we literally walked outside and picked them first, and then went inside and started brewing.
Oh
I
yeah,
was
it's
like,
great.
That's great.
It really makes a big difference when you have that nice like real whole ingredient, and they're fresh. They're fresh, and from home and from backyard is even better. We would do that too. We would do like a hop harvest. You'd cut the binds down and pick them all off, and then throw a couple ounces into your beers. It's always nice. Always nice.
I love mine too hard, and I think I drowned. I drowned at least one of them.
He gave it too much of a hug.
Yeah.
Do you guys have? I know that especially later in the fall, not this time of year, but do you have any ideas fresh wet hop beer or anything?
Yeah, we did one with Conzella last year.
Wading River.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's like 4 or 5 years ago now. I backed their Indiegogo campaign to buy.
We did.
To buy the harvester.
The harvester. Yep.
And it
Yep.
worked. 'Cause it's
It did.
here, and it's sort of, they lend it to all the other hop farms on the island. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
No.
I
John's a great guy.
unfortunately the Cascade hop plant that I got
Yeah.
from backing them didn't survive
John,
the move to Patchogue.
Oh no, I don't think we donated enough to get the plant.
I think no, we
did
got hops. I think we got
hops, right? Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
used it in a brew.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
yeah. They're like, yeah, whatever. This homebrew club is doing this. Whatever, it's fine. No. Conzella was great, and I forget exactly which beer we made.
Oh,
with
that was
honey.
Nameless. So we did it was
Nameless,
It was
yes.
my first foray into doing this weird yogurt sour.
Talking about beers we did last year, yeah.
It didn't. Yeah, back to that conversation. It didn't go as low as I wanted it to because it's just technique. I didn't blend it in, so it soured a little bit. It soured down to like 4.2 pH, which is not very sour, but a little tart.
Yeah.
A
Let me
little
tell
twang.
you though, we ended up calling it a gateway sour because it was just sour enough.
A little bit of a tartness
Right,
to it.
but
Yeah.
it didn't scare the masses. So like people became obsessed with this beer. They're
Yeah,
like,
they were really
I guess
fans
I
of
like
it.
sour beer. This is the most refreshing beer I've ever had.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, it's one of those like happy accidents, and it was our first foray. I don't know that we could really reproduce it because you're so good at the sour.
We could,
you know?
we just let it sour
Yeah.
less. Again, it's kettle souring with
But
yogurt,
then-
so it wasn't too
Yeah.
bad. But with the dry hops, John Conzell himself came down and brought.
Literally, like with like the grit from the farm on his hands,
Right.
with the hops, came in, drank a bunch of beers with us. We're just talking about.
Yeah,
the farm.
he's a really nice guy.
What a great
Cool dude,
dude.
good
dude.
Oh man, I look forward to getting more hops from him.
It's
this
a
coming
big.
season,
It was
yeah.
like a clam bag. You know what I mean? Like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a clam bag full of Cascade and CTZ.
Yeah,
and those
yeah.
CTZ hop cones were like 4 inches long. They were
Sick.
humongous.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen anything like really like maybe 3, like huge.
That's crazy.
And just like little mini pine cones. It was crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And we right from the farm that day, wet hopped it. We brewed with half of them and then dry hopped with the rest of them. I forget what we did. I think the CTZ was the dry, and it was a nice like a just tart, barely tart, and wet hopped like wheat ale. It was really nice, like very pale like the Berliner.
Right.
Nice, really big aroma on it from the wet hops and not grassy. Like I think now back to the farm conversation and the New York State brewer's license. Like not only has the malt come a long way, but the hops have come a long way. I remember when we first started this years ago, and Farmingdale at our incubator, the hops were, not Gunzow in particular, but most hops we'd have that were local from New York State, they were like oniony, grassy, and I've had beers from places around here that were using wet hops, and that had that, it's like a young hop vine characteristic,
Right.
where they're like grapes, they take a few years to come into their own, from what I understand. And now they're just banging, like they're so good. It was the flavor and the aroma was just right on, and it was good. It was a great beer. But yeah, that was our wet hop. We'll hopefully do that again this year. Get some nice wet hops right off the farm and make a beer out of it. It was a very cool experience. And yeah, we'll do it again for sure.
No, not that part. Don't spin that part, Tom. That doesn't really do anything for us. Spin the whole thing.
We're trying to
around
fix the microphone thing. Yeah. There we go.
Yes,
Every
our
time
pop,
we move it, it falls.
our pop filter keeps spinning around.
There you go.
And,
I was trying to like signal, like spin the whole thing around to tighten it up, and you just start spinning the filter. I'm like, that's not doing anything.
No.
We're turning around at this point.
yeah,
Yeah,
All right.
around the clamp.
it's fine. I don't think it matters.
Sorry.
one
I don't
way
think
or
it
the
matters
other.
either.
Not really.
So I know that we've almost cleared
Yes,
the
this is
board.
the last one. We're doing McKenna.
Yeah.
We did McKenna last year, but this is this year's batch of McKenna.
Yeah.
Our dry
Okay.
Irish stout, our beloved March
This
St.
got
Patty's Day beer.
this got very dry in all the good ways.
Oh,
I
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
had this one yet. I'm still working my way through
I
all the
had one of
preliminaries.
these earlier before we started recording, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah,
What's
nitro too, but
Yeah, what's amazing to me is the I don't know. I'll go back to what I always say. I haven't found a coffee I like, but it seems like coffee and beer just make sense. And this one gives me a lot of coffee feel, but also has the same sort of dry Guinnessy feel that you
It
really
does
want
have
to
some
have in Irish stout.
really
was the
good,
intent, yeah.
really good coffee notes to it.
There's no coffee in there for
And
the
there's no
record.
coffee,
It's
yeah.
just
No,
it's all
yeah,
malt.
I-
It's all malt.
Right.
I believe that, but it's still
Smells
very
wonderful.
Well,
very
last night
nice.
Yeah,
I
I
had
like
someone
it.
ask me, they're like, "Which coffee did you use in this?" I'm like, "There's
Yeah.
no coffee in this beer." They're like, "Yes, there is." I'm like,
No, there's
"It
not.
mimics a coffee."
If you-
It's like the roasting of coffee beans and the roasted barley is very similar,
Oh,
but
absolutely,
This
yeah.
is really magical.
I know, and I know Kevin loves his coffee in
I
particular.
love
so
coffee. I need my coffee to function, and
Me
I
too.
love coffee, and I'm a really big fan of a good dry stout, and this is like magical is the only word I can think of. Like it's,
Aw,
it's
thank you.
so
It was
tasty
particularly
with it.
popular this year. I mean, I think we debuted it the week before St. Patty's Day, and and then we kept the special going. We kept like $4 pints going
Oh,
because
it's
it's
nice.
It's
really
a
nice.
perfect.
Yeah, people love
it's
it.
a perfect like St. Patty's Day kind of beer.
Well, 'cause
like
you drink
there's
it all day,
no
you
reason,
know?
but
I mean,
but what is it? It comes in at 5.6. So
5.6, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little high.
A little higher than I
suppose.
wanted.
A little, yeah, a
higher
little
than-
bit,
yeah.
a little bit heavier than a dry stout usually comes in at, but doesn't mean I'm not going to stop me from putting back a couple of them.
Definitely
not at all, not at all.
I could hang out and just drink this beer.
I love that. This was for St. Patrick's Day. As an American Irishman, my dream is to make Guinness and just to drink just that beer until I die, for real. But this was an attempt. That it's the body. I want it to be a little darker next time.
Darker, really?
Yeah, a little darker. Yeah, it's a little.
Okay, yeah, all
Yeah,
right,
a little
all
bit.
right, I can see that.
But
It's-
it is
Mark,
made.
it's light black right now.
It is made with. It's made the way you're supposed to make a dry Irish stout. I think it comes down to the malts I not have to use, but I do use for this New York State stuff. Normally they're using more of a let's say quote unquote British malt for something like that, which is killing a little darker to begin with. But it's really just roasted barley and flakes and regular 2-row, and I love the roasted character of it.
yeah, it's very good.
I'm a fan.
It's
I'm a fan.
it's like good black coffee.
Really? So, I mean, again, as the guy who hasn't had coffee in probably like 8 years. This
Except
is what
for the
black
one,
coffee
except
tastes
for the
like?
one that I force fed you.
Good
after-
black coffee.
After the after Brickhouse's 21st.
No, you didn't force me to
that
do
was
that.
a
He
rough
was
day.
there for that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Did you drink all?
Oh, we
did
were-
you drink all 21? Because I did.
Yes, we did.
I was the first person to do
That's
it
right, I remember.
in a single day.
I remember punching the tickets for that. I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah,
that.
no, they actually didn't even
They
punch
weren't
my
actually
ticket.
even punching our tickets.
Yeah.
and that was part of the problem.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah, we're like, oh yeah, we can have that one again.
We went to Rose down the street, which is a place I'm very familiar with from
Yes.
from working in the area, and there was like a honey coffee thing, I'm like, okay, I know that I need some caffeine.
Oh, what is that called? That's special, the honey, whatever.
Yeah.
That thing is delicious.
I don't know. I just needed coffee.
All I
because
know
was
is
never gonna get home otherwise.
like that coffee,
seriously.
I couldn't even really drink it. Like I drank the whole thing, but that's not my jam.
I can tell you that I
love
know I went to Kilwin's to get some ice cream with both these guys.
Oh yeah,
And they were, I mean, at least Justin was so drunk that he went back and got more ice cream at Kilwin's after I was like, all
I
right, I'm headed home.
I didn't remember
and he didn't
until the next
remember
morning.
getting there
No.
earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. The people there were looking at me really weird because I ordered the exact same thing. And I didn't know until I was like, holy shit, I should get Kilwin's right now. I had the best idea that I already had. And I went there
Twice
the
in one
next
day.
morning.
It
I
was
had
the exact
receipt-
same thing.
Twice in like
Literally,
3
I'm
hours.
standing next to you. It was the exact
Back
same
again.
thing.
I had the receipts in my car the next morning. I'm like, I didn't go there twice. Like I was going to call a fraud report in. And then I saw the receipts and I'm like, oh, shit. I'm just fat. Like
Sunday
that's just
was
really the only thing. Like,
2 Sundays with the works? No.
no, that's exactly what it was. It was
I was only guessing.
No,
Nice,
yeah,
nice.
I know. By the size of me, that's pretty much the only option. But yeah, yeah, that's exactly what happened. So,
I mean,
yeah, that was
21
a
people do
that was.
to you.
You know what's really messed up? You said you were there.
Yeah, you don't remember?
No clue. No,
I
no,
No, I know I talked to you that day. I talked to a couple of
Ever
different
seen
people.
me?
No.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
I'm not kidding. Like you could be a ghost. I have
That's
no idea
funny.
you were there.
Yeah.
We had a listener who was probably listening to this. Dan come down and talk to us, and I felt terrible because right in the middle of the conversation, I looked at him and I honestly said, "I can't converse with another human right now. This is not a moment where I should be talking to a person. I'm really
much.
sorry. I have to go."
Having too much fun. No, I know. That was a fun day. That was,
That was a good day.
I don't think I saw you until midnight that night.
no, I didn't get home until late.
Yeah.
I got home late and got an earful on that night too.
Yeah.
I feel so. I got the look like, oh yeah, this is what I expected.
That's right. That's right.
Go to bed. I'll see you in the
Yeah.
morning.
See ya.
Party, man.
Go to the
What are you gonna
couch.
do?
Indeed. But again, everything as usual, and exactly the same as before you opened last time a year ago. Everything on the board has been amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I love that it's such a variety of different flavors to go after.
Yeah,
great.
it's you know, a lot of people do a lot of IPAs. We try to keep it balanced. We can do more these days, but it's important to have a spread of flavors. And I mean, why not? Why not diversify your flavor profiles when you're making craft beer?
So what I'm looking at right now, just for the listeners, is that there's 24 taps here.
Right.
10 of them are right now are Brewers Collective taps. Well, actually, I guess 11 if you count the nitro version of McKenna, and
Yes.
three are guest taps
Right.
from Lithology, Mustache, and Fire Island. The rest of them are open, and they're awesome. So in the next couple of months, I'm going to assume you'll be pretty close to full.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, we're
should-
thinking
should
so, yeah.
Definitely check this out.
Hell yeah.
There'll be something for everyone. That is for sure.
Definitely.
No, we love it. We love it as much now as we did the day that we started home brewing. It's only we're only falling more in love with the craft beer industry and brewing as a whole. Like we're never going to slow down, and
never.
this has just been the most amazing journey. And I just cannot wait to really kind of catch up to the bigness that's gone on this year. We're looking forward to really, getting our head in the game and brewing and doing what we do the best, and and enjoying every moment of it. And I can't even imagine what this next year has in store for us, but I guess we'll talk about that next year.
I hope so.
That's right.
You
Well, you
tell
might-
us when to come back, and we'll be here.
Oh,
about it.
absolutely.
We'll bring more beer.
Yeah, good.
Well, before I let you off with that, like I know we mentioned some IPAs and stuff like that, and I know the loot is getting ready to go. How else are we planning on filling some of those taps? Is there anything else that's like, in the back of your mind that's just percolating, like ready to go?
Yeah. We have Rust, our alt beer is coming. It'll be on tap this weekend.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's coming
It's
back.
almost
We have
done.
it's in the bright right now. We have
I think I've got the Kolsch dialed in pretty well.
That's
so
right.
the
That's
alt beer is going to be the next thing.
all this
Honestly,
nice traditional
Such an
style.
underappreciated style, and let me tell you, all our big beard lager drinkers love,
They love
Rust.
it. They
Rust
love
is it. Like, and when we ran out a few of the lagers that we had, people were like, "Well, what can I drink that's like, what's like a lager?" I'm like, "Well, try this Rust alt beer. It's very sweet, not too much nonsense."
It's that melanoid malt, man.
Yes, and people love it. I mean, people come in every weekend. Hey, you got that Rust back? I'm like,
I know.
it's coming. And, you never know what's going to be a superstar. That's the funniest thing. It has been such a wonderful experiment to see what people respond to, what people really like, to see your own local trends versus the trends in the island.
sorry
and
about
the
that. I just
greater
warmed
thing.
up a little.
Yeah. No, but it's been
It happens.
it's just it's all we ever wanted was to get a real reaction from people that really try the beer in real time. It's still kind of a trip that we can make some money and people are happy to come here and
Yeah, it's
spend their
crazy.
hard-earned dollars. It's like it's completely humbling, you know. I mean, we're definitely more comfortable with it now, but it still feels a little bit like a dream, you know.
Working on
And
it.
no complaints here.
No complaints at all. It's a lot of work, a lot of late nights.
It is.
You're either cold and freezing, and or hot and sweating, and always soaking wet.
Yeah.
Always.
Beer.
I know the feeling.
But it is very rewarding, and this is this is what we wanted to do. And as hard as the work ever is, it's never like, oh, it's too much work. You're making beer, and you're making these fun social connections, and for me, it's like it's almost selfish. Like, I just do it not for me, but I do it because I want to have a good time. But you are giving something out, and people are coming here and having some sort of community and some sort of value out of it, and it's very, very rewarding.
People tell us that this is their happy place, that this is their home. Like, it's like the highest compliment. People
Absolutely.
come back, they bring all their friends, they bring their family. Like, it's so incredibly humbling and wonderful. Let me try this beer that you're doing here.
What is that one that they poured out, Mark? The Kolsch?
It's my Kolsch.
That's nice.
Is that the
Nice
Kolsch
beer.
with the beach? Is that the beach plum Kolsch?
No,
No.
that one's still sitting here.
Oh, that's not the abomination of a
Oh, that's
Kolsch.
wonderful. Nice. And you guys are killing it, too. I mean, it's been such a joy watching your guys' Beertastic Voyage this past year.
I'm dirty
hitting up all
again.
the I said it twice. See? I'm beating you all. Come on, guys. You guys gotta catch up. No, but it's been wonderful to watch you guys grow, and it's exciting, and meet all the different people in the community, because it's such a lively and diverse community on the island, and craft beer's getting better
I'm
every
glad
year.
that you guys really enjoyed the Burning Violet Beauregard, because
good.
So good.
I haven't filled it yet, but I now have a 15-gallon conical HDB fermenter that I'm going to start a sour Solera project
Yeah,
in.
that's right.
So
please.
yes, I will be bringing more of that by after it's
It's ready.
exactly
talk
in
about-
8 months or so.
yeah.
I'll be bringing some.
It's
by.
worth the wait, though, right?
Yeah,
It really is.
Well, we talked a little bit about Charles Brown last time, which
Yes.
was the sour
Yeah,
that we made.
yeah.
So just a quick little update on what we ended up doing with that. Tim will tell you more.
All right, so Charles Brown was an experiment, right? Because we always wanted, we
Filled
never
in 2015 when we first sent the release to the
2015.
brewery.
Yeah, it was. We went into the barrel in 2015. That was almost 3 years ago now. Like December, so it was late 2015. It spent about 2 solid years in the barrel. Is that right?
Yeah,
So now it's over 2 years.
yeah.
And it's. What did I do? I blended it down. So we're trying. I don't know. It became a little too acidic because
Yeah,
again, it's an
it
experiment.
peaked and we didn't bottle it, but
Right,
it was still
yeah.
delicious.
But it
so
was-
then
it was
we had
very
the idea
aesthetic.
to.
So I blended it down with Ghost to this beer we had. So I blended it with Ghost, which was a black wheat. So I took it down from like a brown to like a little more of a brown. It wasn't a big blend. It was like, I think, 15 gallons of it. So I blended it down with Ghost, let it re-ferment because Ghost finished out at a higher gravity.
8%, this crazy
Yeah.
black wheat ale.
Oh, wow.
It just really,
Yeah,
it was like
it was
nothing
big.
you've ever had. This was just on a whim Tim made it, and it was like, had this incredible cult following. And then we took the last
Yeah.
couple of kegs and we blended it with Charles Brown, and I'm so curious to see.
Me too. With
What
the
happens
initial blend
next?
tasted really good. We put it into kegs, and it's back there. It's literally on the other side of that wall right there, sitting in 4 half barrels. And we're going to
We'll
tap
do a
it.
bottle release for it.
Yeah, we're probably going to tap it for the first our year anniversary, year birthday.
Yeah,
and
we're
then
not-
we'll do a
and-
bottle release with it.
Any
Right.
clue?
From
Any
the
clue when
grand
that's going to
opening.
be?
Yeah, so I mean, technically speaking, we opened April 15th of last year. The weekend of April 15th this year was just not the right weekend for us logistically. So we're actually going to be having our first birthday / grand reopening in the new space, May 12th, Saturday, May 12th. Mark your calendars because it's going to be epic.
Yeah, I'll be here.
All right,
yeah.
awesome.
Okay, Saturday, May
Hell yeah.
12th.
And we'll see how that sour turns out.
Sounds like a
It's gonna be
plan.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll find out. Yeah,
Be nice.
stay tuned.
Indeed.
I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here. I have like a pile of cups here that are all half drank, and I'm just working my way through that.
Don't
I'm
take
like,
his
all
beer,
right, I'm
take
gonna have a
his-
little bit of this, a little bit more of that, and just working my. No, you could. That's, yeah, that one was the. I think that was the Witchfinder. Just the smoke. Just I couldn't keep.
I
I
hear
couldn't.
you. I
I
hear
couldn't
you,
work
man.
through it. I'm sorry. I don't ever want to.
That was
Probably
actually
hardest thing is to sit there in front of the people that have put the effort in to make it and be like, I don't like it. Like, I never want
good,
to
but
say
not
that
for
to
me.
anybody, but it's just sometimes it's just not your thing, you know.
It's okay. Kevin can be the odd man out.
I mean,
It's
I will,
okay.
I will. I mean, I'll tell Justin and Mark that, but you guys, I don't want to tell them. No, I'm so happy that you guys that everything is coming up, you know, the way you guys need it to.
Millhouse?
Yeah, everything's coming up Millhouse. Exactly. I almost said it. I was going
nice
to.
reference.
All right.
Yeah, the fact that the beers that you're making continue on to be this fantastic variety of beers that just always intrigue me, and I'm always excited to see what's the next thing that's coming out of the hive mind of you guys, and I really like that. I appreciate what a lot of the other breweries are doing, and they make very creative beers, but I think just as far as like really stretching out and finding something really off the reservation, I think you guys win in that one for me.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I still have 1.5 of the Berliner Weisses left. So
I
Enjoy
just
them.
finished
Savor
the
them.
Woodruff
yeah.
You
that
guys
I
are
had over
champs.
here.
This
Yeah.
Woodruff
Oh
thing
my
is
God.
like is messing with me. Like I gotta find out more about that. I'm gonna have to do a little homework on that.
I'm going to try to find a plant for Mark. I feel like she needs one.
Grow some
It's like a nice birthday.
Well,
present.
I mean, to be
Handle.
fair, like I'm
Yeah.
slowly converting my front yard into garden.
Yeah,
So-
same.
Grow
Same,
food,
yeah.
not
He's not-
lawns.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
I'm
not
like,
kidding either. Like,
You've got
he's
that
not-
request.
well, I'm really not. Like,
Yeah,
We-
we have a front garden as well. People are like,
Yeah.
oh, what is that?
Like-
I'm like, it's food, man.
directly like in front of my house was like a bunch of like overgrown, like not really cared for, like shrubbery.
The tomatillos that have
Well,
replaced
no,
those.
yeah, exactly. And Justin helped me like
Tomatillos are
rip
amazing.
all that out, and
Amazing.
then last year I replaced it with tomatoes, tomatillos, some.
Salsa verde for days.
Oh
and
yeah,
the, and
yeah,
the squash and the squash that took over half your lawn.
Well, yes.
Yes. Oh
And,
man, it was a
so
good year.
here's
It was
one
a good
copy
year
of
for the
squash.
squash.
So
Squash was good.
this year the plan is to then now like okay leave a couple of feet between them, but then like add another raised bed.
Yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Of more things that I can like eat.
Oh, yeah,
Because
so we're-
my
yeah.
plan is basically like I'm not going to plant it if I can't eat it.
Well, exactly. We do the square foot gardening to kind of maximize our little postage
Okay.
stamp of a front yard.
Yeah, I'm familiar
you know,
with that.
yeah, and it's fantastic. I mean, you just if you plant it correctly, the yield is incredible. You can,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
We were in fresh and produce all summer and really into fall. It was fantastic.
Yeah, so that's the plan for this year. Like
Awesome. It's a
And
good
then
plan.
next year, like we're gonna add another row, and like
Yeah.
Baby
And,
steps.
and coming soon
I've
to
got,
coming soon is tomato beer.
Tomato.
oh yes,
Oh,
yes, that is
really?
definitely.
like a Bloody Mary type thing.
I'm not
Yeah, I don't know.
100% sure yet.
Well, I
but, like,
made that Bloody Mary goza. That
between
was delicious.
because
Ooh.
in addition
sounds
to
good.
like my garden, I also participate
you
in
get
the
the horse
CSA with the hog farm out in Brookhaven, the hamlet of Brookhaven.
That's legit. I
Yeah,
read
and
the article on that. That was
like
awesome.
I'm like so many tomatoes that like at some point in time they're just going in a beer. They're going in a
Yeah,
beer
the tomato,
this
we
year.
didn't know what to do with them. We would pick like 10, 15 every day, and then
Just
there'd be
make
another
sauce,
10 or
man.
15
Yeah, yeah.
every
Make
day.
sauce.
I have it frozen
My mother, I was
There
like,
you
I
go.
kept giving them to her.
Sauce
Oh.
for everything.
Yeah,
Salsa,
I ended
tomato,
up
yeah.
I ended up making like a tomato sauce that I froze in like 1 inch like ice cube trays.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
perfect.
So like
Yeah.
you know I pop those out, but yeah,
That's a good idea,
yeah,
actually.
it's,
Yeah.
it's
Some
gonna be
sauce
even
cubes.
it's
Totally.
gonna be even more
Yeah.
this year, and like I've already decided, and like we talked about this at one point, but like just like all right, we're doing a tomato like wine/beer kind of thing.
That was originally for the Lichtenhainer. We were trying to put together a tomato beer of some sort, but we decided on a Lichtenhainer. I think it's probably better for the world that we. And the other thing is, unfortunately, I'm the idiot that signed up for the Firkin for the Cast Festival. So we're doing 10 gallons of a Lichtenhainer, and we're like, "Hey, we should have something to bottle." Well, 11 in the Firkin. We should have something to bottle. So then we made like 13 to 14 somewhere in that range.
Nice.
So yeah, we have a shit ton of a smoked Berliner Weiss. Anybody going to the Blue Point Festival, please help us out by drinking it because we know we're going to have some left, but please not a lot.
That's funny.
But I appreciate you guys having us down again. It was really cool to come back a year later. You've always
Totally.
been great to us, and it's been
Loving this
really
space
cool.
and
Our absolute
glad.
pleasure.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
It's our pleasure to be here, and thanks for being awesome and coming in for the
thanks for
follow-up,
coming
man.
to us.
Awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Anybody that's never been here needs to come for sure.
Definitely, and also let us know when you want us to come back again.
Oh,
Seriously.
absolutely.
Yeah,
sure,
Mark your
sure.
calendars. It's happening.
All right. Well, I think that just about wraps it up. Again, if you haven't been down it, what's your guys' address, real quick?
Right,
just
so
we
it's
can find you.
1460 North Clinton Avenue, Bay Shore, New York, and it's on the south side of the building.
Now it's on the south side.
Yeah, I was
Now
gonna
it's on the
say,
south
it is
side.
not
It
on
was
the
the
north
north
south
side,
side. It is
yes.
on the south side of the
Find the
building.
only place where people are drinking beer in the building. And
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Follow the ratty sign that
cars.
says brewery that got beat up
Yes,
by
there'll
the
be a
store.
Ratty Brewery sign.
the Ratty Brewery sign.
And we do really good with direct messages on Facebook. Not so much
Yes.
with the phone calls, but messages are
Yeah,
good.
Tim, Sarah, thank you very much for
Thank
having
you,
us back.
guys.
Thank
and
you, guys.
we look
Pleasure.
forward to
Pleasure.
talking again at some point in the future.
Cheers, you
Excellent.
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
If you enjoyed Beertastic Voyage, please be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to review and rate us. The guys can be found online at www.beertasticvoyage.com, on Facebook at www.facebook.com/beertasticvoyage, and Twitter and Instagram at Beertastic Show, or send them a good old-fashioned email at beertasticvoyage@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers for local beers.